Hello everyone, welcome to this week's edition of Telegraph Herald More Than the Score. I'm your host Steve Ortman. Alongside me this week, not Brendan. Whew, thank goodness. The head honcho, Jim Leitner. How's it going?
Not too bad. Yourself?
Doing pretty well. Now I know we're creeping up, we're getting into summer here, and that means in Iowa it's baseball season. And I tell you, I know you look forward to it every year, patiently waiting. No longer must you sit in front of your Super Nintendo playing Super Bases Loaded. The season is here. You can get out to the diamonds. Tell me, Jim, what are some of the teams that stand out to you so far?
Well, we're a good 2-3 weeks into the season already, and we've seen some teams with some nice progress so far. And I think right now at the head of the list is Cascade. In Class 2A, they're ranked number 2. They opened the season, I think, 7th or 8th, and they've already climbed up to number 2 at 10-0 as we speak. They're a team with a lot of familiar names from the basketball run. And the Telegraph Herald More Than the Score Spelling Bee champions.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Prestigious.
Prestigious. But it's a good group of players, and they've had success in every sport pretty much this entire school year. So they're continuing that over to the Diamond. They looked real good in sweeping Bellevue on Monday night, and I think they're a team that's definitely going to be there at the end. Also in Class 2A, Dyersville Beckman, the defending state champions. They're scuffling a little bit right now. They're just right around 500. They opened the season ranked number 1, but they've slipped to number 7 in the Class 2A poll. I think a lot of times, when you have that target on your back, everybody's kind of gunning for you, and you get everybody's best game, and it's a tough thing to adjust to. But there's a lot of talent on that team, a lot of players coming back from last year's championship run. So, I expect they're going to right the ship here and be definitely a contender in the WAMAC Conference down the road.
Sure. If we narrow it down, I've been to a couple city games as well. And any players stand out having big games so far this summer?
Well, I think in the city, the team that kind of surprises me a little bit is Wahlert. They're a team that's been to the state tournament the last 3 seasons, but they were really hit hard by graduation. Last year with our player of the year, Austin Savory. And they were young. They've got a lot of freshmen and sophomores on the varsity level right now. So they took their lumps a little bit in the early going. Right now they're just slightly under 500. But I saw them early in the season against Cascade, and they got blown out. And then I've seen them the last week or so, and they're much better, much improved. So I think that's a team that's going to be a threat in Class 3A when we get down to the end, just because they've improved so much over the last couple of weeks. If they continue on that plane, I think they're going to be fine. Otherwise, Hempstead and Senior, they're both 2 teams that I think again, they're right around that 500 mark, and I think they're going to be there at the end. They've shown some signs early. It's just a matter of finding the right chemistry and coming together at the right time. But I think we've seen some good signs from both of those teams as well.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see how things play out here as we progress through the summer months. Now, I was told while you were giving us all that great information that referencing Super Nintendo and Super Bases Loaded dates me as incredibly old. So if we could try this again, try to update it a little bit. No longer do you have to play MLB The Show on PlayStation 4. I think that's what the kids play now.
Not a video game guy.
Yeah.
But you messed up a little bit. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Western Dubuque as well.
Oh, okay.
That's a team. Yeah, that's a team that's
nice segue.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's keep it going.
It's a team with 3 Division I baseball prospects in Calvin Harris, Sam Goodman, and Zach Bierman. Right now, as we speak, they're 9-1 right now in Class 4A. But they're a team. This is their last season in the WAMAC Conference, and they're going to go to the Mississippi Valley Conference next year. But they're making a nice run of it. Again, we talked about Wahlert losing a lot of key guys to graduation last year. I think Western Dubuque was hit even harder because I think the top 4 or 5, 6 guys in their lineup all graduated. But they're still in the thick of things, and I think they're another team that's going to be a team to contend with in Class 4A at the end.
All right, well, that should do it for our look at the early season for baseball here in Iowa, and that should do it then for this week's edition of Telegraph Herald More Than the Score. I'm your host, Steve Ortman, alongside Jim Leitner. We will see you next week.